What's the word? What's up, mofos? What's up, internets? What's up, people? This is the Born Free Podcast, episode 2. One Shaman. I am your host. New platforms. What we did last week didn't work out because I wanted to move everything towards my platform. Kind of selfish, but yeah, it didn't work out because I had other things that I was promoting on the platform, and then iTunes kicked me out. So I had to create a new platform specifically for the podcast, which is on iTunes. So speaking of iTunes, please search the Born Free Podcast on iTunes. Okay, my recorder just fucked up, I think. But yeah, please search the Born Free Podcast on iTunes. What you need to do is rate, subscribe, and review, right? So you go into iTunes store, then under store there's a tab that allows you to search or select podcast. So select podcast and then search on the iTunes store the Born Free Podcast, right? Search it, then subscribe to it. So under the picture, the image, the cover art, you'll see subscribe. Please subscribe so that every time we release a new podcast, it automatically downloads and goes into your iTunes folder, right? So please do that. Help us climb up the charts. Our goal for the rest of this year is to make it into the top 200 podcasts in the country, in South Africa. Please, let's do that. It's possible. I'm going to be as consistent as possible. I'm going to try to give as much dope content, try to get in as many dope guests for us to actually make it, for us to actually compete. Because right now, I think the biggest podcast, shout out to the Gareth Cliff Show, that's the biggest podcast in the country, right? That's locally produced. Let's kick ass, right? And it's not even a youth podcast. This is for specifically urban youth. This is for black young people. White kids can listen to. That's cool. We're not gonna cut you out the picture, but you need the help. Y'all got artists, iPhones, iPads. Come on, help us out. Let's climb up those charts. Remember, we're also on YouTube. Free streaming on YouTube, and we're on SoundCloud as well, so you can stream us on there. Remember, on YouTube you can add you can add a comment, you can subscribe also to our YouTube page, and the same thing on SoundCloud. You can follow us on SoundCloud, add a comment, review it, and yeah, let's make this a big platform. And let's make this one of the biggest podcasts in the country. Cool. Last week we had Admiral and Jasid. That was so dope. You can check out that podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, as I said. And remember, our new platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is the Born Free Podcast. So on Facebook, the Born Free Podcast. On Instagram, the Born Free Podcast. And on Twitter, it's at the Born Free Pod. So without the cost. So at the Born Free Pod, check us there. Remember, tweet us, like our pages. Yeah, let's get into contact. Let's communicate, right? Today's episode, one of my favorite people on social media, and I think that just limits her, limits her capabilities and her reach in terms of what she does and who she is. Dope conversation about almost everything, Wanted it to be longer, but she had obviously other commitments, but I'm glad she made it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's something that we can do again. So obviously the guests I have, I'm trying to get them further into their years and their own careers. Maybe do like a recap and get them and bring them in, because obviously we didn't talk about enough, right? We talked about what we could have talked about within the space and the time we were given. But yeah, man, poet, social commentator, Ntsiki Mazwai. I hope you enjoy this. Remember, rate, subscribe, and review. Come on, let's do this, right? Fuck with me. Come on, right? Personally, you can catch me on Twitter at OneTakeOne, Facebook One Shaman, Instagram at OneTakeOne as well. Without further ado, I present to you the Born Free Podcast, episode 2, with my lovely guest, Ntsiki Mazwai. Enjoy. Today I have a special guest, one of my favorite people in the world, one of my favorite people on social media. I haven't had, the privilege to meet her. I think I have, but we never really had a conversation or spoke about anything. She probably would remember, but I'll recall that incident or time and place later on. Poet, social commentator, and recently masters in creative writing. Ntsiki Mazwai, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm well, thank you. You graduated top of your class, right? Cum laude.
Well, not top of my class, but yes, with distinction.
With distinction.
Yes.
So the papers got it wrong.
No.
Again,
Did
about
they
you.
say top of my class?
I think I read that on.
No,
Was it
no.
Sowetan?
Just with distinction.
Okay.
Cum laude.
Cum laude.
Yeah,
So
I
with-
don't want to steal the spotlight from my classmates.
So cum laude, doesn't it mean you're? It just
Cum
means.
laude means A.
Oh,
It means
okay.
you passed with an A.
Jeez, all along I thought this was like you top, but you
There
are top
is,
of your class.
There is a word for it.
Valedictorian. No, that's an
I
American
don't know.
term.
I don't do these academic things. I just knew I had to go do something productive.
Cool. So how you been? How's your mind? Where's your mind been? What's your
Well, it's tricky now because obviously I took a whole year off my work. So I'm still feeling a little bit like having to get back onto the bicycle again.
okay? Like writing.
Yeah. Well, just performing
Okay.
and my music, and because that's what I really love doing. Like I love being on stage and I love creating.
And you've been like away from that creative space for a minute.
Exactly.
I think if you had to ask kids now about you,
yeah.
they wouldn't necessarily go to the performer,
Exactly.
poet, artist.
Exactly.
They probably go to something else.
They'll go to the troll, the Twitter
But-
troll.
But you can't. It's not trolling.
No, I
is
know
it?
it's not. No, I know. I'm just joking. I know it's not.
So the music, are you working on something? Are you?
I am. I mean, I just had an incredible show last week Thursday. Out at Vilagazi Street Market. That
Okay.
happens every last Thursday of the month.
Dope.
So the band booked, and yes, they shut it down, and it reminded me what it is that I actually do.
On
you know,
stage.
because everybody thinks that the hype is around the social media, but actually, my talent and my gift is my energy on stage.
But even with the social media, don't you? I don't know how you view it, but I'm always looking at things as content, right? Like I just have that media mind of okay, this is content.
All the time.
Do you also have that outlook in terms of the things you do, your tweets, your videos?
I think that my gift is that I have a lot of content.
Okay.
You know? So I'm aware that I'm bringing issues to the table.
Yes.
But it's not calculated. So if in the morning I really am feeling pissed off about a certain issue, then I'm just like, you know what? This is what I want to unpack today.
You're not gonna package it a certain way. Just
I'm going to unpack it, and usually our issues are universal. So
True.
then, content is created, and then people can engage, whatever. But I am conscious of the fact that I'm on a public platform, and I must speak things that are
Yeah.
going to create conversations that are going to develop us
Cool.
as a whole.
but this is without obviously filtering it and trying to
Yeah, that's why I was
package
saying
it
that
in a
it's not
certain-
calculated, and I don't try to look a certain way.
Yeah.
If I know I'm going to be in trouble for saying a certain thing, I don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, well, yeah, I've said
This is
it.
And what do you think it is? I mean, the issues are one thing. I think, like you said, we all have issues that are common to our struggles and just everyday life. But there's just something about when you voice them, right? That, I don't know, people gravitate towards it, right?
Right.
And then some people don't.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term, they don't, but in a very aggressive, I really don't. Fuck
Well,
with what
they
you're saying.
do. They do, because they're being so aggressive. Because if they were
They're
indifferent,
contributing, yeah.
then I wouldn't be making an impact, right?
Yeah.
I think that ngesiXhosa sibiza imbongi yomthonyama. So what that means is that my poetry is I'm a medium. So kunabantu abadala usually. And I think that because we've lost touch of our culture,
Yeah.
we forget that actually we had a space for things like this.
Yep.
This is not really surprising. If you
Yeah.
look 500 years ago, you'll always find that the poets were the ones doing exactly what I'm doing today. So it's just my role and my gift. And
And do you think we have a space? Let's just talk in the media industry. Because I've seen you and I've heard you bash our journalists or whatever you want to call them. Do you think we have a space for people to have very open dialogue and conversation and discourse about issues that are not necessarily comforting or comfortable to have?
I don't think so. I think that our media spaces are monopolized by by the white narrative.
Yeah.
So NASPERS and Media 24 are owned by white people and they employ white people. So you'll find the editorial team of Drum Magazine is 80% or 90% white, you
although
know?
they're communicating to black people.
So how the hell are white people
True.
going to be talking to black issues?
True.
So already they sensationalize and they don't really understand the black culture. So they do it from a point of view that's very demeaning and very like ignorant.
It's ignorant, yeah.
Right? So we don't really have that vehicle yet. I mean, we could say that our other mainstream media is ANN7, but that's also very ANC,
Political.
very political. So we don't have a media as black people where we can unpack black consciousness issues and issues that affect black people and, you know, celebrate black people.
Would you then say that social media is that vehicle?
Yes.
And
yes.
in so doing, can it be corrupted?
Of course, anything can be corrupted, right? But I think that I have been conscious of the fact that social media is the platform for me to push my messages.
Yeah.
I am aware that some people will ride some of the topics and they're charlatans created, which is the corruption that I assume you're speaking about. You know, where someone tweets a certain line or they just copy and they see, oh, this is going to get lots of likes and retweets.
Yeah, it's still attention based. Like
it's exactly. So it's not really for the people. It's more about the ego.
Okay,
So,
I can get that.
Yeah.
Because social media is a platform and is a tool, right?
Yes.
So I think I tend to, you know, differentiate between the two. So as a tool, like you said, getting the content out there, communicating with your followers. You were performing at Vilagasi Street.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm here, right? That's the tool. Marketing, great, exceptional. Then comes the platform, which is great too, but it comes with the egos. It comes with how many likes can I get? How can I boost my self-esteem? How can I, etc., 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 right? So do you think it's so if someone had to ask, social media, is it a benefit or is it a deterrent, especially in the space of conversation?
It's definitely a benefit.
Okay.
Because I've even seen the thinking of young black youth has evolved, and conversations are more woke. And the only reason conversations are more woke is because there's been a platform where a certain message has been. Because let's say we're talking about tomatoes all the time.
Yeah.
Unless someone is going to come and speak about bananas, we're going to continue talking about tomatoes.
But don't you think there's also that, like, I'm not on social media a lot, but don't you think there's also that shaping of narrative on social media? I think that's another thing that deters me, because I feel like every time you go on social media, there's a specific narrative. Not to say the narrative is good or bad, but there's just a specific narrative. And if someone comes and speaks or questions that narrative, already you're labeled as something. Like, you know,
that's why you must be brave enough to stand up for whatever you believe. I think that's what also is important about social media. We need to stop this mob mentality thing that's going on, where people feel like they need to agree with everybody. I know what you're talking. I know exactly what you're talking about. But it's also important in the narrative shaping, because let's say, for example, Forum did that thing where they've got a list of people they taking to court,
Yeah.
and that's the narrative.
Yeah,
this is hate
this
speech.
is what, yeah.
Unless you have social activists who are black saying, "Aye, this
Okay.
is not hate speech," and how dare you, then it changes the narrative.
Yeah.
Then we can, it levels out the playing field.
But even with that, right? So even with that, I think it goes both ways, right? So let's get into the whole hate speech thing, right? It goes both ways in the sense of someone like Penny Sparrow will come out and say all kinds of bullshit, right? And then someone like you would come out and say whatever you're saying, right?
Okay.
It's easy for people, the idea of trying to, how can I say, the idea of trying to box someone into what they can or cannot say, right? Regardless of what the rhetoric is, I
Okay.
think people should have primarily the right to say what they
Yes,
like, obviously
yes,
within those restrictions. But also, don't you think that trying to limit or restrict someone's...
Okay.
Yeah,
I think that there's a difference between hate and the truth,
true.
and it's very clear. So when Penny Sparrows is speaking about monkeys on the beach,
That's bullshit.
that's
BS.
that's
yeah.
derogatory. But if I'm saying that white people stole the land, that's a
That's facts,
fact.
yeah.
It's uncomfortable, but it's a fact.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So now people want to...
Is it a fact that black people are monkeys?
No,
Is
definitely
it a
not.
fact that white people took the land?
Facts.
There we go.
True. So I'm saying, in the sense, that's exactly what I'm trying to
Clear
say.
cut.
Clear cut. But people like, especially on social media, there's this thing of trying to throw everybody in one bucket, right? Like, okay, this person is how can I
bigot.
say, a bigot. This person is radical. This person is that.
And this one's a feminist.
Exactly.
This one's,
You get what I'm saying?
I
and
know.
it's hard for people to have like conversations we're having
Yeah.
now. Right? You can
Yeah.
interrogate what I'm saying. I can
Yeah.
interrogate what you're saying.
Yeah.
On social media, you
Yeah.
can interrogate what I'm saying, and you can do the same. But it comes with, okay, now we have to label this person as this. And
But
we got-
don't you also think there's a level of maturity and emotional maturity that has to come
Of
with
course.
you coming onto the social
Of
media
course.
platform?
But how many people come in with that?
But I need to, that's what now we bring
have
to the
to.
table and be like, actually, guys, you need to be a little bit mature about this. Because even on my social media platform, I don't just retweet or engage people that are agreeing with me. When somebody's got a different
That's-
point,
yeah.
I
That's
retweet
very
that
dangerous as
too.
well.
And so that we all know, good to know there's different opinions and everybody's entitled to have their opinion and it's fine.
And do you think we can come to a consensus where every time you're on social media, right, you like engaging and having discourse and, sharing ideas and disagreeing, that's great. When do we get to a point where there's solutions and we're solution based?
It is solutions though.
You think so?
It is, yeah. We are moving in our minds because that's where the change is going to start. It starts from inside and then it's going to start manifesting outside. I can see a difference. I mean, I'm looking at people now compared to 5 years ago. We are like Twitter.
There's a shift, definitely.
There's been definitely, when I first got to Twitter, people were speaking crap. There was nothing happening there. And now there's national debates.
Yeah.
So there is definitely a shift. It's just that people expect things overnight.
Yeah.
And I'm just
It's
like,
definitely sorry to cut you off, but it's definitely a conversation starter. It's that spark, right? Social media is that spark, and then there needs to be that. Now we're moving it on the ground, and just to take it to the social media blackout, which your initiative that you're part of. I like that because on social media there's the spark. And then there's the act of actually being off, or the act of actually participating, right? So just get into how I'm not sure if you built, is that your initiative?
what happened? It happened on my timeline. Because I saw that Data Must Fall
yeah.
was kind of like,
Yeah,
you need,
in
yeah,
limbo.
yeah. Neither that. So we got sold. And for me, data costs being high is really a serious issue because I'm always on the internet.
Yep.
Right?
everybody
We all,
is.
right, exactly. So it's just like, oh my God. I can't be spending like 500 Rand a week on just data.
Yep.
It's just like ridiculous for me. So I even remember like how it actually evolved, because on like the Friday, it was the day before June 16. I put up that picture that shows the different data costs across the world,
Yeah.
you know? Then we're like, nah, man, guys, some bullshit, though. This some right? So then I go, no, but I'm going to tackle this. So they're like, yeah, let's, right? Because I've got a very conversationary
Yeah.
relationship with my
Yeah, with your
followers on
followers.
Twitter. So on the Saturdays, June 16, someone's like, yeah, let's go in. Then I went, no, not today. It's June 16. We're gonna be overshadowed, you know. And I remember that I felt so passionate because I was like, chill, because you know when someone else
Yeah,
to be
everybody
like,
was-
hey, chill.
So you're like, let's mobilize,
I was
guys.
like,
Wait.
just chill. You know. Then I waited for June 16 to happen, and then I know Monday mornings because I know when prime time is. I've
Yeah,
been doing Twitter
yeah.
for long enough to know when
When
is
it's
the time.
popping.
When do you attack? Then Monday morning, I was like, right. This is how I feel, motherfuckers. And then it was like, I feel like that too. Then it just like snowballed. Then it
Yeah.
was like, okay, so how are we going to do it? Then someone was like, yeah, if we get off social media, whatever, then we like talked about it. Oh, then we take money away. So it was unpacked on the
Yeah.
timeline. Then it was like, okay, so we're doing this. We're taking away money every single Wednesday for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Great. Then everybody got excited. Now we've actually extended it. So
Okay.
even today, I'm not on social media. My data is off.
I cheated
nothing.
today. I was on WhatsApp.
You see,
But I
I
wasn't
don't,
on Twitter.
don't even, and I don't see why you must be proud of cheating.
Yeah.
I would be ashamed.
I'm ashamed, but I
So-
cheated. I really had to get a hold of someone who only is on social media for some reason.
Akana
But I was on
phone.
Twitter. So I had to WhatsApp
So
him.
I just always, on Wednesdays now, I just chill and I'm like, business will wait because this is something that can make a difference. The more
Definitely.
of us get involved, it
Yep.
actually can
The
make
more
a
you,
difference.
when you take money out of someone's pocket, that's the only way they'll get you.
It's
You'll
the
get
only
their
way to
attention.
speak.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially with a majority, you know, because
Right?
we are a majority.
Thank
if you
you.
really can take money,
We
away
are the
from,
buyers.
Exactly.
Without
So-
the buyers, there's no business.
Exactly. So I think that's a dope initiative.
Right?
But now I saw something you tweeted actually
Uh-huh.
about. I don't know who tweeted you. I don't know if it was MTN or they didn't tweet you directly. They
Okay.
tweeted something about it didn't work or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
That. What was that about?
I think that's just them trying to deter us.
Okay.
Because if it didn't work, then why are you talking
talk
about
about
it?
it?
Because I'm like, I'm not going to worry about a fly on my shoulder unless the fly is annoying me. Right?
True.
So I'm like, okay, if it didn't work, we'll continue then. And it's just going to gain momentum because more people are understanding
Yeah.
the maths behind it. So I'm really not intimidated by it.
And do you think because I think there are a lot of people. I've got a few friends who are committing to this as well. Do you think other people are willing to, because social media is an
Yeah.
addiction as well.
I know.
Right?
That's what we're
So-
realizing. It
like-
was like,
yeah,
shit.
people now you're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
actually going through withdrawals here.
Yeah.
What do I usually
Yeah,
do when I have to
exactly.
wait in
Right?
a corridor or in a line, right?
When I'm walking, when I wake up in the morning.
Exactly.
Right,
So-
under my blanket.
You know what I'm saying? So people like that need a little bit of, that
That's
extra
what's
motivation.
incredible is that I am a person like that. And after the 24 hours, I feel so good. And so
course.
many people have expressed the same thing.
Because you're not social media is also a consumption thing. You're not
Yeah.
consuming so many different
And you've got
ideologies.
time for
and-
yourself
True. Now it's
Now
just about
I'm-
how do you feel up
Right?
that time. You go gym, read a book. you know?
Right. You're like, okay, my goals, what am I? So a lot is happening in the shutdown that was not anticipated.
But some people don't know how to do those things, right? Because
Some
remember,
people are going to learn how to do those things.
you know what I mean? Because remember, there's a lot of people that really they live their lives on their
Yeah.
phone, literally live their lives. So their identity is on Twitter and
So
Instagram.
they're going to get to know themselves.
Do they want to though?
They're going to get to know themselves.
Do they want to get to know?
It's going to be incredible.
Yo,
It's actually quite an incredible thing when you discover yourself
I think that's
and your
dope.
life.
I think that
right?
would be. I think that would even be doper if people got together somewhere during this thing.
Yes, I
Right?
was
Don't you
saying
think that would be
actually,
ill? Like,
that did come up. We were like, we need activities for
yeah,
shutdown
like,
Wednesdays.
yeah, like, cause
Yeah.
now you touchy phone, you're taking the phone away from someone. Dope, but now
so
it's
what
like,
are we gonna fill it
oh,
in
crap,
with?
what do we
Okay,
do?
that's a good thing to bring up, and I'm gonna bring that up on the thing to be like, okay, guys, so what are we gonna do on Wednesdays? We meet here,
You know
or
what I
what?
mean?
Do we play games? Do we play soccer? Do we play?
Fill up the time. Do
Right?
we have conversations?
Yeah.
I think that's dope. Because
Right?
even the idea of having a conversation is really
That would be
talked
stunning.
about.
Imagine if, like, Emakasi, the town halls, we knew, Guti, on Wednesdays, the community centers are full and the community is just chatting.
That's it. I'm a phone in engine.
Right?
Yeah, that would be dope. Because now you're killing two birds with one stone.
That's exactly
Because
what's
you're
up.
removing people off social media. Well, not necessarily removing them, but you're
Getting them back to humanity.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that
Yeah.
about social media that really.
It detaches you from
yeah,
people.
like, because you need that vulnerability of having a face-to-face conversation, right? You need to see
Yeah.
someone's eyes. You need to see their body language.
Yeah.
Social media, like, you hide behind
Yeah.
a screen, and then
Yeah.
you can say things that you're not even brave enough to say face-to-face.
Hey, I've got lots of those on my page.
Like what, the trolls?
Yeah. Then they like, when I meet them, they're like, hi, you blocked me. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
And then I'm just like,
You've met your trolls.
met so many. They ask me to put them back on.
Why?
And I'm just like, oh my God. Because they realized they were wrong. And I'm just like, oh my God, stop doing this thing. Like, have a bad experience with someone before you actually attack them.
Oh, but that's social media 101. The idea of just perception. Like,
Right?
just, that's
Right?
that.
A lot of people have fallen into that.
Ah,
And then I
that's-
just block.
Like,
Then they're like, oh, no.
that's the biggest
Right.
lie on social
Right.
media. That
I'm like, unless I've done something to you personally where you can like, Ntsiki did this and that hurt me.
no, it's
Then-
easy. Like, right, like, if you don't agree with someone, it's easy for you to call
Right.
them names, and, you know, because it's hard to engage. Because that's another. I don't think a lot of people want to
Yeah.
have a conversation
Pick
with
the
you.
brain.
You get what I'm saying? Whether they're
Yeah.
intimidated or whatever. I mean, shang, I'm a master. Like, do you think people are just ready to just have a conversation, engage you? People just it's
do
just,
you know what a cool chick I am though?
I know,
get
but-
along with everybody. Like,
but I know that. I'm saying it's perception,
okay,
right? So people usually get their information from other people.
yeah,
It's that simple thing of, hey, has been Ntsiki, I'm tando muntu so na so. Right? People
okay.
pick, like that.
Okay.
That sits in someone's head, and the next time they meet you,
It's
whether
true.
whether you do something small like, hey Ntsiki, can I have a picture? You're like, no, I'm late for something.
Yeah,
Now you
they're
become
like,
the
oh, yeah,
"Ah, velu
kinda,
njani,
yeah,
eh?" You get what I'm saying? So it's like that.
I'm gonna stop making people pay for these pictures. I must say, that's what's up.
So would you say like you have like the biggest troll? Like, do you have people that like are constantly? Because I know you and Figile used to like have that.
No, siyablokana makunjalo. Us fix.
Who blocked who first?
I don't even care or know or yeah. I don't stay in that space.
Yeah.
It's dush. Then I'm gone. Then I'm like, okay.
Do you think it's a good thing for leaders to have that
I think it's a good.
access?
Yeah, I
to-
think it's good for leaders to know how to deal with voices that don't agree with them.
Yeah.
And I thought he handled that very badly. I mean, there was a point where he even said I dress like a prostitute, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that was deep.
that was hell of a deal,
Yeah, that
right?
was like, yo.
Because
that was
even me, I was like, and then the government, when it's time like this, and this is your leader,
Yep.
and
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that it's wise for
yeah,
our leaders or politicians to have
Right,
access to us, like especially social
right.
media, like because
it doesn't look like it's working out.
like look at Donald Trump. He's
right?
out of hand. Like, he's just pick up your phone
Because you can't.
just, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. We don't have accountability in this country. That's the problem.
That's another thing.
Yabo? And we don't fire people in high positions is another thing.
I don't think people really. I don't think people have the capacity, or don't think they have the capacity to do anything about
I
it.
think so. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about mobilizing people on social media and trying to get them off so we can reduce prices, right? I don't think a lot of people can do that with their own small little issues, right? So someone has an issue, kune pothole,
Yeah.
they feel like, hey,
But the thing is-
bazolungisa nini? No one feels like I
And the
can
thing is,
actually
they
do
can.
something. They
That's the
can.
crazy
Exactly,
thing.
because there's
People don't realize their own power.
Exactly, and that's where I think the our issue is, right?
Yeah.
I always say our issue
power.
with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like I think injustice is injustice. If someone does something wrong to you, someone does something wrong to you. But I think once you allow them, once you acquiesce to, okay, vele kunjalo, we're always gonna be in this position. There's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
Then we've lost
Yeah.
you. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
can't. Those people
don't check, because that's another thing with this campaign. Like when I was doing the media thing, they were like, "Oh, the leader," and I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not the leader of this campaign. This campaign is led by everybody's a
Everybody,
leader,
yeah.
and I don't want anyone to be thinking, "Oh, this is my thing" or whatever, so that now I get blamed when what, or I get celebrated when. This is like, you make the difference, not like you can't wait for somebody else to be like, "Oh, that's we've got a Jesus complex. We always need someone to be like our."
But I think we always need identity, because of it's a comforting thing, right?
Okay.
It's not necessarily they're gonna do everything. Ntsiko's gonna do everything, but you need someone to spark that idea, and
Okay.
that person is you. And
Okay, but it's just that I felt like I wanted to do the right platform. It's just that I just felt like, oh my God, but you guys can also you can make flyers. You make photocopies as well.
and they
It can't
probably
be-
will,
Right?
but you sparked the idea, right?
But,
you,
yeah.
like, okay, you're probably not gonna like this, but Tibo Touch, as much as he used it for his own benefit,
yeah.
started a conversation,
Yeah.
right? He started the conversation, and then ultimately we realized that we were being used,
Yeah.
right? Ultimately,
Yeah.
right?
Hey.
But the conversation had to be started.
Yeah,
We needed to hear that in order for us to be like, because you know, sometimes always knowing that you're getting the shorter end of the stick. Like, okay, hey, we're paying higher data prices. It's not something that sticks and recurs in your brain, right? Someone needs to always remind you of, hey, there's a fire. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We need to do something about
exactly.
it. So him starting the conversation, whether it benefited us or him, regardless, the conversation was started. And the fact that it went away for a minute just showed how people always need someone to spark
Okay.
it. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately,
Okay.
you're
So
gonna
I
have
don't
to
want to be blamed when this thing doesn't work.
I don't think you'll be blamed. I think,
I was
come on,
like, oh,
it's
no,
not like
you
you
are
can do it
blaming me.
alone. It's not like, okay, you can.
Because they keep going, Ntsiki's thing failed. Ntsiki's, and I'm just like, oh my,
But-
this is personal.
Yeah, true. I
Right.
get how that can get.
Right, okay, I
Can
just
get-
must have the emotional maturity to not make it about me. That's what it actually is.
To not making it about you, but if need be, stand in front of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, people just, we all
Yeah.
need someone to say,
Yeah.
if she hadn't done, you know.
I just wish
or-
people would be more like, you've seen the social media flyers on thingies, just photocopy then, you know? Guys, do what
Take
you
initiative.
can. You know, don't like keep looking at me because I'm like, I don't know. You guys, we're all doing this together. Gosh, I'm just like the voice.
True,
but right,
true,
so
true.
we just need to realize exactly what you said, like owning our own power.
True. And what do you? Well, I saw the video. I like the video, but just a little bit about why do you think a lot of our mainstream celebrated figures don't want to jump on to
Well-
or latch on to an initiative like this? I'll give you my theory. I think certain people have been told to stay away from certain individuals, and I think you're one of those individuals
Yes.
that
Yes.
celebrities or
Yes.
people who are trying to make it, quote
Yes.
unquote,
Yes.
have been told to, okay, don't follow her
Yes.
because she's
Yes.
disruptive,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I think it's not about the
Yes.
initiative. I think
It
it's
was
about
personal. I also got
you, right?
that
And that's
sense.
where maybe what you were saying before, learn how to remove yourself from it
Yeah.
in order for it to
Yeah.
grow. Do you
Yeah.
think I'm on the right?
Spot on. I think you're spot on.
So are you willing to? So now, knowing that it's probably about you,
Yeah.
if someone is like, okay, I'm willing to support this, but only if Ntsiki
It wasn't Ntsiki's
Moves
thing,
it.
like they say.
moves away, do you think that's fair?
You know what? If people feel that way, I'm fine. I can back off. For me, as long as data costs go down, whoever you want to be the face of and to be the whatever, choose that person, and can they work just so that data prices go down?
And do you think like people care about them? Like if you're like a public figure, let's say you're a Bonang. What's like you said? Okay, you said obviously if data prices go down, people have more. Like they have access to
Yes,
your
to our
email,
work,
your,
yes.
your SoundCloud, etc., etc. But what do you think their incentive is now? Like, do you think it affects them?
It completely affects them.
Do you think they know
Social
that?
media, maybe they haven't, their brains hasn't got to the point where it's
They can visualize.
unpacked what social media does. We're in the age of information.
True.
And the age of information, its platform is the internet. So, as an artist, you no longer need to rely on SABC or DSTV.
Of course not.
You've got
Everything is
a platform, right? So if people can afford data, it means they've got access to you and you've got a marketing stream
True.
that you don't even have to pay for.
But remember, most of these, like, and I've been having a conversation with my friend. Like, most of these guys or most of our celebrities, remember, they don't really own their own platforms like that, and their form of like their touch points are just like traditional terrestrial broadcasting, like your radio, your television. The social media is like an extra. Right, I don't think they make most of their income on social media online. So that's why I'm saying like most of them don't even have that motivation of saying
No, but most of them are not working 365 days a year.
true.
So they definitely can feel the pinch. It's just fronting and it's making it personal.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
It's that thing of, because remember, like
It's like it's not my thing. It's not gonna make me shine.
Exactly. That's
The issue is the shine.
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
Like they're not getting
getting shine from this.
from it.
So they're like I'm not
why?
gonna give Ntiki some shine.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's
I'm not.
what the
If,
issue
if I'm gonna get the cover of
Exactly.
Time magazine for
Exactly.
you know
Exactly.
reducing data prices, then cool.
Exactly.
If I'm gonna be interviewed on
Exactly.
MTV for I'll do it. But it's not like
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
Because like another thing about SA, man, like we worship platforms way too much.
Yeah.
You know, like I was on Sbanban's show on television, right? I was on Anele. I was on Metro. Like we worship like platforms as opposed to knowing that, like you said, we were talking about power. Like there's power in content.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you can get 5,000 retweets for a video you made, like on your own, that's content, right? Imagine what you would do with all the infrastructure.
Right.
And I don't think people think like that.
Thank
right?
you.
I have 5 million followers. I don't know who has the highest followers,
Thank
but
you.
I have 5 million followers. I'm this person,
Yeah.
right? I'm a celebrity. I'm a
Yeah.
figure. I can mobilize potentially half of those followers
Yep.
to go watch a video, to go
Yeah.
do this. But I don't think people think like
Yeah.
that. I don't think our media industry has been conditioned, or I don't think people that participate in it have been conditioned to think like, okay, I'm actually the content. I'm the person that
Right.
you know what I'm saying. So it's like, oh no, I'm on Metro. So they give Metro.
I
that's-
know, right?
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Yes.
I know.
So it's like
I know.
I see why people.
That's why it's so mediocre.
It is
That's why the
because it's
industry's
not
so
it's not
mediocre.
based on talent.
It's not.
It's
Yeah.
not based on being the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
A broadcaster.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I am this person. I did this.
Yeah.
People know me.
Get into this through whoever.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And even just touching on that, do you think that obviously that's not healthy? Obviously, it's not something that's healthy. But do you think, as an industry, we can grow or survive this whole? Okay, you can be on this radio platform, you can be on this television network because you're popular. You don't necessarily have the necessary skills or the content
Well,
to
I
drive
think now
this?
we're
Do you think we can
learning.
survive that?
I think we're in that stage where we're starting to learn that just because someone has got 1 million followers on Twitter does not mean that they're good on radio. I think that's coming across. I think that's the lesson South Africa's going through at the
Yeah.
moment. So in a couple of years' time, hopefully we'll be at a place where we start realizing that it's actually about individuals and what the individuals
brings
bringing to the table.
But I don't. Maybe I'm slightly pessimistic, but I'm looking around, and because I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do put my ear to the ground in certain things, and I see and I feel like the people that are on particular platforms or run particular networks or broadcast facilities or stations aren't necessarily people that have the best interest of the public or the best interest of that particular voice or that particular demographic that you're speaking to. Because if they did, you would see something like social media shutdown or whatever, right? So do you think we can survive something like that? Do you think?
I think that our industry is owned by white people, and I think that if you've got white capital behind you, then you're a star.
If you've been chosen.
If you've been chosen by the whites, you're a star. And if you've been chosen, it means that you can't afford to put black issues on the table.
So then what's the point?
That's why the internet is so important. That's why data prices must fall. Because we need to have a situation where people have got access to
alternative news and alternative
because we can't
broadcast platforms. Yeah, because the idea of competition is very necessary, especially where we are. Because I don't think we're not at the peak of talent and content media wise. Right, going back to our journalists, I don't think we have especially now. Especially now, I don't think we have the best of the best.
No,
and I think it's just based on.
I think we've got pop stars in relevant positions.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I think we've got. Okay, you're an interesting figure. You have this amount of followers. You have all this.
Yeah, you dress nicely.
Yeah, write about.
Yeah,
a lack of diversity in the media
I mean,
space.
we even have right now people releasing books who are not writers.
Who released the book?
So, no, just generally. I'm just saying generally.
I actually know who
No, I'm just saying generally. This has been happening.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's been happening. So I'm just
just to play devil's advocate, those people, the particular person I'm thinking about, I'm not going to mention a name, but don't you think people are interested in their lives, right? Like people, or maybe they have the illusion that people are interested in their lives, right?
I don't know.
Because we've taken away professionalism from the writing thing.
Yes.
That's gone.
That's what I'm saying.
Been gone, right?
So we're writing because celebrities based on PR and perception and
runs,
creating
right?
An image. So that's all that book is going to be. It's a PR tool. Whereas a real writer has got an energy and a gift that they're bringing through that is going to shift the consciousness of people. So there's difference between a writer and PR.
Yeah, but even in that space though, the autobiography or the self-help that's taking advantage of the you see my life on television, on radio. I give you a piece of me or a piece of this image.
It's a PR.
But they want to sell books though. You know what I'm saying? It's all economic. I understand that because
they want to sell. I don't know if they want to sell their story, right? Is it like I've got something to give?
No, I think it's I can do this too.
That's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think
so. That takes away from the craft of writing and the fact that there's people who are gifted in that,
and those people
who are meant to be
honest,
that.
Most of those people, most of the passionate students that are studying this writing, like people like yourself, journalists, writers, most of them are not going to see the light of day in this current in this current climate of where our media space is. Most of them are not going to see the light of day, especially on terrestrial platforms. Like no one's going to publish their books, right? That's why the social media space, like you're saying, is is maybe an alternative for them to, you know, the blog space.
Mm.
Although that's also getting oversaturated with content that's unnecessary. But I think that space
And
would be
redundant.
it's so redundant. Everything is the same. Everybody's
the
talking the
same.
same thing. But hey, who am I? Right? I think that's the lane that we're headed towards, and something like, you know, having cheaper prices gives us that different outlook, right? It's not always SABC News. It's not always ENCA. You know, you have just different different agendas as well. You know,
Yeah.
because I think everybody has an agenda. You know, but it's just which one benefits you, which one is of importance, and which one will give you a platform to actually discuss issues that you'd wanna
Exactly.
discuss. But yeah, that's enough on social media. Have you seen? Actually, this is just a question for me. Have you seen the Mary Claire issue, the latest,
The nude
the
one.
nude issue?
I haven't. I don't buy these magazines anymore. I don't waste my
saw
money
it.
on
I
that.
saw it on social media. I just wanted to get your opinion on it, right? I'll give you mine first.
Okay.
Going back to how we're talking about, there's there's always a shaping of narrative,
Yeah.
right? And there's always this idea that in order for you to take a narrative forward, and in order for you to discuss certain issues, you need to bring a celebrity towards it. Like the idea of, okay, we'll have people in a room, and then we'll take pictures and do this and that, and then from that we can unpack whatever issue it is. And this particular issue was violence against women, and which is a great initiative. I just don't like how it gets carried out, right? I just don't like how you can put that on a cover and then in small little writing have, okay, this is the issue about etc. This and this. I don't know how you.
I do. I mean, I've had this conversation before. I mean, I did that campaign years ago against rape. And in my growing up and maturing, I'm realizing that this is just white people exploiting blacks again. And they're just selling magazines. And
I thought I was wrong for thinking that.
no, because if they were really about that, wouldn't it be a consistent?
Yeah,
you know,
right?
They always with power, working with power, and it's hand in hand. So, yeah,
I think we're at a point where we've allowed, well, everyone. I'm just not even just celebrities. We've allowed people to pick and choose when they want to engage a particular issue, and we've allowed them to, in the comfort of a studio or whatever, to
it's a fetish.
Yeah, it might as well be a fetish, right? It's like, okay, you're gonna get these pictures, you're gonna be on a cover. Okay, I'm willing to do that to try to address this issue. That's how far I'm willing to go, right? I don't think we're at I don't like we talked about accountability, right? There's okay, you're gonna do that issue, then you're gonna go back to your home and that's that. People that are affected by those issues, you're never gonna meet. You probably never will see. Not to say you haven't. I don't know these people personally. Maybe they have been through these issues or had incidents that are commonplace or common a part of that issue, the said issue. But I think we've just made it easy for activism to
charlatans, fake activists. That's how I feel about Marie Claire. I'm like, oh, actually, you don't represent that.
You don't at all.
At all,
so
right?
How have
you just do this every time it's time for the naked thing to sell magazines? That's the only time.
I'd be interested to find out how many copies they sell of that issue. Right? It would be an interesting figure to have. But yeah, just going back to that, why have we allowed certain people to take on certain narratives without the accountability of being in those homes or being in these children's hospitals or be anywhere on the ground, right? Mobilizing in any not to say it's insignificant, but it's not. I don't think it brings out or brings the change that they intend. Maybe their intentions are to bring change.
No, it's just capitalists,
right?
Capitalists, yeah.
So when you did it, how was it sold to you? Like how?
You know, it makes sense to me when I'm naked and saying, even if I'm naked, it does not mean I want to be raped,
And that's the truth.
right? So for me, it's hit home. Like, that makes
Yeah.
sense to me. It's like now when we're raising money for the street kids, we gotta be naked. We're raising this, we gotta be naked. We're gonna do this, we gotta be naked. That's where I was like, oh, it kind of loses meaning like that. But for me and my legacy, I'm fine with, okay, I strip naked to be like protesting against
Yeah.
rape.
And how? But so
But I
that's how
do
they
feel like they exploited me, and
Do
I
you?
do, yeah, completely. I do feel
What makes you feel that
uncomfortable.
way?
Exactly what we're saying. They're not doing this for the right reasons. I came in with that, oh, Amandla, you know?
And then it was just.
But they're
have a
capitalists,
shoot,
yeah. They are. Then they're leaking pictures. They were not honest, and, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, no, this is just white people exploiting black people.
Yeah. So I think, just to touch on that, I think, apart from just America, I just thought that was interesting because we see this all the time. Like the idea of you saying, let's strip naked, let's do this, but not even just stripping naked. Just let's find an easier way of trying to latch onto
And
this
it's,
moral currency.
it also
and
romanticizes it.
It does.
Because that's why I did full frontal. Because I was like, no, I don't want cute nudes.
Yes.
Because then I'm just doing porn.
Might as well be.
Right? Because that's what it is. It's like, oh, check me out.
It had to be vulnerable.
It had to be like,
this is how it is.
right?
Yeah.
So for me, that's what it is. When I keep seeing it, I'm just like, oh, I think it misses the point because
It's like, I'll lie, the pictures are not
they're
cute.
beautiful.
They're beautiful. Like, they're beautiful. I'm
And
not saying they should
violence is not beautiful.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh man,
that's the thing. It's
paints
soft
a
porn.
different-
Yeah, it's just
it
soft
paints-
porn.
The little smiles and the
Yeah,
little
exactly.
laughs. That's great and all if you're doing
Right.
something else. But attaching an issue that, like, oh,
I think that's
man.
what also annoyed people with my one is that it was not a friendly picture. So it was very
so they wanted it to be
aggravating.
cute.
Yeah, so
It
everyone was
wasn't
like,
polite.
it was like, how dare you stand there and be pissed off at us and show us your vagina? How dare you?
So they expect. So they wanted they wanted the 27
ooh,
issue.
Ooh,
Right?
cute, exactly. Ooh, check me out. Look at my bum. Ooh, ooh. They want, you know. So it was just a little bit too brutal.
Yo, okay, yeah. It's coming close to what 45 minutes. The unworth cover art, man. Like, I actually just saw it when, like, my friend loves you, Shabzy. Shout out to him. He loves your Instagram, not your Instagram, your
That
Twitter.
video.
So he's always sending me videos of you, like every morning. I'm like, okay, what is he saying now? Okay, so I saw that, and yeah, you look like you saw the cover art, and then immediately
Yeah,
like
I'm not down. Because I'm like, listen, we're ghetto. That's another thing about Instagram, right? I see everyone doing all this pretty, putting on
Instagram
filters.
is that's for
They like,
that's for fly shit. Like that's for.
I'm not about that shit. I'm like, guys, in this instant.
So you saw it, and then immediately you're like,
No, I saw it. Then I was like, I'm a Simbala. Then I
did
started
someone send it to
tweeting.
you or?
I think someone on Twitter said, Ntsiki, did you see this?
Oh shit.
Because they
But
do
your
that.
Marama followers are
But
now.
they're there. They're there for me. They're always like,
It's like when-
Master Ntsiki, ubonile ukuthi-" and then I'm like, what? Hey! They're like, let's go fetch them.
So like, are we? Maybe let me. Should we still?
Can I unpack this?
Okay, yeah. Let's get into that if
Right.
you want to. Yeah, definitely.
I am not a petty woman.
Mm.
There are certain customs that petty women will do.
Mm.
It is not in my right
To actually
to go
yeah
take petty culture
and
and
practice
do with it what I please.
without definitely knowing it or even being it.
It's damn disrespectful.
Facts.
So these white people, first of all, they demonize our culture.
And then they want to put it on.
And then they want to... I'm like, fuck you. Ain't you said this is devil's worship, whatever? So you
Let it be
continue
that.
with your thing and leave our shit alone. I feel very strongly about that. I feel it's so... I feel like white people in this country are so disrespectful.
Or not
Imagine
just
if...
in the country.
right?
Woo, not just in
Imagine
the country.
if we took some pictures from the Holocaust and then reproduced them but made them funny.
Oh, you'd be in a lawsuit.
Dude!
They'd find ways for the legal system to.
Do you understand?
Like, but that's you know what that's
don't
another
understand
thing
that
about
shit.
us. Like, okay, and it may be slightly unfair to say us, but we've allowed so much, right? To a point where now if we question something like that, which I also found like, yeah, it disturbed me. It's hard for us to actually
Be
'cause
like, no, that's not right.
because
Right?
you know why? Because there's gonna be people who are like, but no,
Yeah,
Ntsiki, that's art, and no,
exactly.
black people too.
I
not
know,
just
I
white people.
know.
There's gonna be people who are gonna be like, no, Ntsiki, like
I
that's
know.
art,
I
right?
know.
And
But
that's
that
where,
also doesn't mean that we must keep quiet.
of course not, and I think we've done it with a lot of things. We've done it
Yeah.
with music, we've
Yeah.
done it with film,
Yeah.
photography.
Yeah.
We've like appropriation is
But
like we're cool. I think that's another thing about
No.
like
Yeah.
we're dope. Like culturally, just as
not
people
okay.
historically, we've been dope. But the problem with us, we've allowed everybody to have a piece of it. Like, okay, come through. You can have this. You can have this. It's cool. You can sing our music. It's cool. You can. I mean, look
no,
at
it's
like
not okay.
even Johnny Clegg.
Mm.
Like
We like
we
sucking up to white people.
celebrate.
I know.
Leon Schuster.
I know, Leon
like
Schuster
we
saturated.
you're gonna have to, we celebrate, and then it becomes so hard
Yeah.
for people to see your point of view. Because I
Yeah.
can guarantee you,
Yeah.
there's people
No,
who
I
will be
know.
like, but
I
come on,
know.
Ntsiki,
I
man,
know.
and this too, like social media sharp, mind you, not,
I
you know what I'm saying?
I know them.
we've made it okay to,
I know them to disrespect us.
yeah.
I know.
In simple terms,
I
we've made
know.
it okay for
Yeah.
white people, and not even just
Yeah.
white people,
For
every
anybody,
other culture,
yeah,
to disrespect
us.
black
Yep.
culture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, but
Yep.
anything else on your mind?
No. Just that.
I think we can go through so many things. Like,
Right.
there's just so many things that just happened in the past 2 weeks that I'm like, yo.
But we
But-
just really need to, like, take responsibility. Like, use your power. People just really need to really step up to their power
True.
and use their voices and speak out and stop being scared.
And what do you think people are scared of, though?
I don't know. I'm like, what do you think's gonna happen to you when you say your opinion? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think most of the time people can't back up their opinion. That's the problem.
So
or they
what?
don't know what maybe they don't know what their opinion is based on. Right, so you have an opinion. Oh, that sounds like a dope opinion. I'm gonna ride with that opinion. And then when it's time to actually engage the opinion, now it's like, oh, okay, I'm not. You know. So there are people like I think people that have opinions voice their opinions. I think it
No,
eats
I
them.
also
Don't
think
you think?
that I think this is also some of the jet lag apartheid. I do, because we were like suppressed and we weren't allowed to have voices. You would get into prison.
Yeah. And
you
I
would
don't
get
think people
when you were-
understand how deep
Right?
that was. Man.
It was psychologically
yeah, more than
traumatic.
anything. Yeah,
So we are the children of those parents who were like that.
that PTSD.
So they've socialized us to be like, no, don't complain,
Yep.
don't you take that abuse.
First generation.
So that's what we are needing to unlearn and like
What do you think we need as a collective? Like just as
black consciousness. Black consciousness. What has happened to black people is that they've been demonized and told negative things about them. The only thing that can fix that is if you tell black people positive messaging.
Yeah.
Wire. It's like
reinforced like the.
if the water in the bath is too hot, you add cold water. Simple as that.
And I think also an unlearning of a shitload of things.
Just being comfortable in your blackness.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
think we've learned so many
Going
things.
back to the hood
Yeah.
and being okay. And like,
yeah, it's-
celebrating and realizing that they lied. They lied. You know?
No, definitely. Music? Any music? Any?
I'm working.
Are you
I'm
on
working.
stage
I'm working.
soon?
There's the Sawubona music sessions every Tuesdays in Shawela that I'm part of the organizers there.
Are you performing
And
there?
I perform there all the time.
Okay,
It's
I should
um
actually come check that out.
it's so beautiful. Live music, Ikasi, stunning. Working on new stuff. Got an awesome band. I'm excited. And
Why? Those are dope, and I think I can tell your heart is still in the creative space. But you definitely need a podcast, bro.
Right.
I watch your videos and I'm like, oh, that's dope. But then part of me is like, but that's you giving away
Ne?
content. I think people should
Yeah.
invest time to listen to you speak.
Right.
Yeah. I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think that definitely needs to happen,
Yeah.
especially in the space that we're moving in terms of everything
Yeah.
just being digital and online. Like a radio show is cool and all, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
You don't need it. Like
Yeah.
on demand, this is on demand radio. It's just
Yeah.
it's stored forever. It'll always be on your iTunes. It'll always be on SoundCloud.
Okay, maybe
I think that should be
more,
Yeah,
more
man, like-
proactive in doing that.
yeah, like just get something together and just your voice is very important, and I think Twitter doesn't it doesn't do it justice.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
people, you'll tweet something important and people will find a way to just fuck it up and
Yeah.
just make fun of it and laugh, which is
Yeah.
it's cool because that's fun too. But with something like a medium like this, where it's a podcast and you just
Yeah.
go on there and you speak about things that you want to speak about in more than 140 characters. You just however long, however short, you know what I mean? And people can just download that and that'll be dope. But that's just something to think
You're
about.
so right. No, I'll do that actually.
And
I
remember-
will do that. Watch me now. Watch next week.
Perfect. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for
know, I
having me.
think a lot of people wouldn't just. We have a brand new platform.
Thank
a,
you.
A lot of people wouldn't come on and just speak for 50 minutes about a whole lot of things. But I appreciate it. Just blessings and love to anything that you're doing in the
Thank
future.
you.
I'm definitely gonna commit to a Tuesday.
Yes.
Shawela, ne?
Yes.
What is it called again?
Sawana Music Jams.
Sawana Music Jams.
On Facebook, Sawana Music Jams.
Okay, cool. Are you gonna tweet that as well?
I do tweet
Do
about
you?
it. It's even
Okay.
on my Instagram.
I'll
I'm
see
performing
tomorrow.
there. It's so beautiful.
I'll go look at it tomorrow. I
Yeah.
need to be on blackout.
Yes, we're on blackout tomorrow till 12.
But even WhatsApp, Vele.
Zonke.
Gmail.
Then, the thing is, you feel so famous when you come back on after you've been gone for so many hours. You're like, yo, 150 messages. Yo, bangfuna. I just switch off and then
Okay.
I apologize. I'm like, sorry to respond so late.
Okay. So I'm gonna
It was
send
social
on
media
Tuesday. I'm
shutdown.
gonna send the apologies
Yes.
before midnight and say,
Yes, I can't. I'm not available until.
okay, next week I'll no WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Next week.
That's
no
what I'm
WhatsApp,
asking,
no
guys.
Gmail.
Cooperation.
Dope. That was so ill, man. I enjoyed that conversation. Remember, man, come on. I'm gonna plug this as hard as I can. Pause as frequently as I can. Please, on iTunes, subscribe to the Born Free podcast. Rate us on the Born Free podcast. Give us a rating and add a comment. Right? Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. That is the only way we are going to climb up these motherfucking charts. SoundCloud, do the same thing. Follow us on SoundCloud, the Born Free Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube, the Born Free Podcast. We're not doing video yet, but you will still have the audio on YouTube. As soon as we do video, we will let you know. And remember, on Facebook, the Born Free Podcast, like our page. Follow us on Twitter at the Born Free Pod. Instagram, same thing, the Born Free Podcast. Right? Next week, Sammy Sosa. We got Sammy Sosa next week. I think it'll be a dope. I don't want to make it an interview, but I think it'll be a dope conversation. I'm interested to see where her mind's at. I'm interested to see what type of content we can come up with, because conversations are content. I was telling Ntsiki this on the podcast, right? So hopefully it's as dope as this or even better. So yeah, rate, subscribe, and review. Remember, on iTunes. And yeah, what else do I gotta say? If you just want to fuck with us and you want to throw us some shit in terms of sponsorships, come on, hit us up, right? We're on. Oh, actually, before that, if you want to send me questions, comments, suggestions, or just like a shout out, hit us up on the bornfreepodcast at gmail.com, right? So I'm trying to see if we can do some reading of emails or answering of questions or stuff like that. I am actually looking for a co-host, right? It has to be a girl. Niggas ain't shit. So yeah, I'm looking for a co-host. Also, just hit me up on the bornfreepodcast at gmail.com if you're interested. I ain't gonna pay you. I ain't got bread yet. So if you just want to come, it's one of those, man. Like if you just need to feel it, right? It's the Born Free podcast is a life of its own. Fuck with it if you want to fuck with it. But yeah, I'm looking for a co-host, preferably female, preferably a black female. So yeah, let's get into it. And like I said, going back to sponsorships, if you want to sponsor us, yo, beverages, you got your little t-shirt company, little tech companies, holler at us on our Gmail account, the Born Free Podcast at Gmail. Next week, like I said, we got Sammy Sosa, and then yeah, the week next I will reveal our new guests. But yeah, the Born Free Podcast, what did I say? Rate, subscribe, and review on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. Fuck with us. Enjoy your day, your night, your evening. I don't care where you from. I do care. I just don't know where you are. But yeah, good night, good day. Love you. Peace and love.